Hello folks, this is Jeff Phillips with SmokyMeat.com. I've got some pork steaks here on the counter. I'm getting ready to prep and we're going to take them out to the smoker and cook them. And hope you enjoy the video. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to dry brine these for just a couple of hours. I've got some Morton's kosher salt. This is the kind of salt that I use and recommend. And this is just a coarser type of salt that dissolves really easily, and chefs recommend about 1/2 teaspoon per pound. I don't generally measure, but just kind of, you can see the coverage that I'm using, and I've just been doing this a long time, and that coverage works. These steaks are about 1/2 inch or so, maybe a little more than 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to salt one side. Now what happens when you're dry brining, for those who are not familiar with it, when you put the salt on the meat, the salt has drawing ability. It'll draw the moisture up to the surface, and that moisture will then dissolve the salt, and then that salty brine will then be reabsorbed back into the meat. And it just adds to the flavor. Salt has a tenderizing quality to it. And it just adds to the flavor of the pork. Now just a few words about pork steaks. A pork steak is just a slice off of a pork butt. You can, if you can't find these, you can actually buy a pork butt and have your butcher slice it, or you could slice it at home. If you're going to do it at home, you probably don't have a way to slice through bone, so you're going to want to debone it first and then slice it. I've salted these. As you can see, the salt is already, in just a couple of minutes here, it's already drawing those juices to the surface. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be using my Jeff's original rub today. A lot of people ask me why I don't use this to dry brine, because it has salt in it. But the original rub is very low on salt. Unlike a lot of rubs, it's not based on salt. I've just added, when I created this, I just added enough salt just to bring out some flavor. And we'll do that and then place these in the fridge for a couple of hours to let the flavors really get to know the meat. While these are really nice and moist on the outside, I'm just going to add some of this rub to the top. I'm not going overboard with it. Now I'm going to put these in the fridge just like this. I may actually add some more rub to the bottom side once they get done brining, but I want to leave these just as they are for now. Okay, those look good. I'm going to get these in the fridge, and we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, we just got these pork steaks out of the fridge, and they've been dry brining for about 2 hours. Like I said previously, you could leave them in overnight if you wanted to, and more is better, in my opinion. I am going to flip these over and put a little bit of rub on the bottom side. So I'm just going to flip these right over. I'm just adding a little extra rub on the back side here. This rub is really flavorful, and I just happen to know it works really good on this kind of meat, so it can definitely handle the flavor. We're going to probably be cooking these to a pretty high temperature, probably 190 or so, 180, 190. We'll see how they feel tender wise, and I think that'll do us real good. We're gonna pop these in the smoker and get these things to cooking. All right, we've got the Lone Star Grillz 20 by 36 all fired up. We are sitting at about 205, 210 degrees right now on this thermometer. We're gonna go ahead and get this meat in the smoker. We're getting some good smoke and I don't want to waste that. I'm gonna put both of these on the bottom rack. Get that closed down. We'll kind of monitor this and check back here in about an hour and see where we're at. These have been on the smoker about an hour and a half. We've been maintaining about 215, 220, and we're getting some really good smoke right now. I'm gonna open them up and check the temperature with my ThermoWorks ThermoPin and see how we're looking. Pull them out here. You can zoom in on that. About 130. So an hour and a half has taken us up to around 130. So we're going to let these things keep on cooking, and we'll come back when they get a little closer. These have been on the smoker around 3.5 hours, and we're getting ready to check the temperature. And I've got my ThermoPin here from ThermoWorks. These are looking so good. So that one's 192. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and slap some sauce on these, because that'll just finish them off perfectly. This is my Jeff's Original Barbecue Sauce that I'm using today. We've had good smoke throughout. All right, we're going to get these sauced up real nice and put these back in the smoker, leave them in the smoker for about another 25-30 minutes. Let that sauce caramelize real good on the top of these, and then we'll come back and show them to you at that time. These have been on the smoker for about 30 minutes since I put sauce on them, so we're getting ready to look at them and take them out of the smoker. Man, those look so good. I'm so hungry right now. I've saved my appetite for these, and it's going to be so worth it. Go ahead and close this back up. These just turned out beautiful. The temperature we was looking for was around 185, and some of these got as high as 190, but they are so super tender, and we're looking forward to eating these in just a little bit. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today as I cooked up these pork steaks on the Lone Star Grillz 20 by 36. Looking forward to having these tonight for dinner. This is Jeff Phillips with SmokingMeat.com, and I'll see you next time.